Hello. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday, people. It's time for Wife Power Live. Thank you guys for joining me. Please make sure that you like and share the video when you join. Let me like and share my video. Hello. Tonight we are talking about one of my favorite stories in the Bible, and it is the story of Esther. So I'm super excited to talk to you guys about Esther tonight, and for many different reasons. One reason, like I say, is because Esther is one of my favorite stories in the Bible. And the second reason is I want to talk to you guys about something that we've actually been talking about in our group, which is the art of just being a woman. And I am so grateful to God because I knew that I was going to speak on Esther. I was trying to understand how I was going to tie the story of Esther in with with 2021, and he's so amazing that he did give me what I needed. So please make sure you guys like and share this video so that we can get this out to everyone. I'm going to like and share the video myself, so give me a second. Okay, I think I already shared it in the group. Okay, hello my friend, how are you? Hi everyone. You guys, please make sure you say hello to me when you come on so that I can say hello to you back. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. I'm so excited about talking about like I said, we're talking about Esther tonight. Let me get my notes up. Yes, we're talking about Esther tonight, and tonight I kind of wanted to do Wife Power Alive a little differently, because usually I give you guys pointers from Wife Power, but tonight I'm not going to do that because Esther is a book in the Bible and it's 10 chapters, and I wanted to kind of go over the story of Esther, and I actually wanted to give you some points out of the story of Esther. And actually, for those of you who have never heard of the story of Esther, this will be a great time for you guys to hear it tonight, because I know that you've probably heard of her, you probably heard the name, but you never really just knew the whole story of what actually happened with Esther. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So you guys, we're going to be on here for about a good, usually an hour. So be on here for an hour, and I'm going to be talking, like I said, about Esther. So in the group, we have been discussing for last couple of days about the art of womanhood, the art of just being a woman. And that is probably something that a lot of women don't realize that we don't know how to be. Just because we have the parts that qualify, that make us a woman, does not mean that we actually know how to be women. A lot of us were trained to be doers. A lot of us were trained to be the hustler, to be the top dog, to be the one who led the household. And in the Bible, that is not how it's supposed to be. In the Bible, the man, the husband, is the head of the household. And when you have a woman, and this is not everyone, but when you have a woman that is so used to being the head, that is so used to being the one that goes and gets it and takes care of everything, sometimes it's very hard for us to relinquish that control. It's very hard for us to step back and say, you know what, I don't have to be that strong. I don't have to be that woman. I don't have to do everything myself. Now God has blessed me with a man that can take the lead of the head of household, which does not mean that you just need to shrivel up and die and don't do anything with your life. Hi, Miss Davis. I am telling you that even though you are allowing your husband to be the head of the household, that just means that now you don't have to do everything by yourself. You have a partner. You can now take some of the I guess some of the load off of yourself, not burden, but I was going to say burden, but not burden, but load. You can take the load off of yourself and you can actually have someone else to carry it with you. That's why it's so important, single ladies, that you are equally yoked. Hi, Brittany, how are you? That you are equally yoked. Because when you think about equally yoked, think about two animals walking along each other and they're holding, there's a piece of wood and they're holding it. If one person is weaker than the other, that means that the other person has to carry a little bit more weight because that person is weak. So you want to be equally yoked in your marriage so that you have a solid and a level playing field. You're both on each level. But if you yourself are strong and your spouse is not strong, then unfortunately, now you're going to have to carry a lot more of the weight until this person realizes or until God figures out, spouse is there to help you. So if you are the type of woman that you're not used to help, and ladies, let's be real with ourselves, because it is sometimes very hard for us to accept help. We have been for so long, we've been so strong. For so long, we've been doing everything by ourselves. For so long, we've been taking care of ourselves. And now when God gives us someone for us to be able to share our lives with, we tend to push that person away because I don't need you. And if they do something that you don't like, because you have that mindset, you're so quickly to say, okay, bye-bye, I don't want to deal with you right now. So you got to change the mindset of thinking. Once God has given you the head of your household, or once you've placed the head of the household. Now, some of you place the man in the place, you put him there. Okay, you can't just put somebody in the head and then say, I'm not gonna listen. That's him. You can't do that. Okay. If that person is the head of the household, now you have to fall in line under God's will, not the man's will, God's will of the marriage. And as long as you do God's will in the marriage, you'll be okay. And that's why I wanted to talk about Esther tonight, because I feel like, especially when I read the story of Esther, when I wanted to know, okay, what did Esther do in order to get the king to get favor in the king? What did she do? What did she do? Did she have was she in a royal family? Was she did she have a lot of degrees? Was she a doctor? What was it that this woman was able to get the king of Persia to find favor with the king? And all she did was be beautiful. And all she did was be herself. All she did was show grace, and all she did was show class. That is all that Esther did. And Esther also had to make some decisions. She had to make some decisions that scared her, that risked her life, that could possibly have took her life. But she had to make some decisions, because if she didn't make the decisions that she made, then her people would suffer. The Jews were going to die. So let's start from the beginning of the story of Esther, because there are some points and things that I want to go over. And just in the next 45 minutes, I'm going to go through the whole book of Esther, but I'm going to do it in a way where I'm able to give you some good points through the story. So the king of Persia, okay, the story begins where the king of Persia is having a feast. And with kings, if anybody know with kings back then, they want to show off everything, okay? They want to show off their women. They want to show off their jewels. They want to show off everything. That's just what men of power like to do. They like to show off. They like to show what they have. They like to, show people that that what they've accomplished, what they've done, okay? So the king of Persia, he is having a feast, and he wants his wife to come down. Just like most of you guys, most men, when they have a beautiful woman, they want their wives to come with them. Come out here. Come ride with me, baby. Come go somewhere with me. I want to show you off. I want to show the people that I have a beautiful woman. I want to show the people that how God has blessed me. Now, I'm not saying the king of Persia was a God man, but I'm talking about your man. They want to show you off how beautiful you are. Well, this queen, the queen that was at the time, she decided that she denied her king. She was like, I'm not coming down there. I'm not doing it. The king sent for her and she said that she was not coming. That in that time, it was a big thing to disrespect the king, not just your husband, but to disrespect the king. Now I want to stop right there. Okay. Because we are not in 1800, we are not back in those days, and I'm not telling you that you got to be walking around here being obedient to somebody and being a slave to somebody and listening to and doing everything they tell you to do. That's what I'm telling you. But what I'm telling you is some of us, we have a rebellious spirit in us, and we do not like authority. We do not like anyone telling us what to do. It's not your husband. It's not just your husband you don't like listening to. It's God too you don't like listening to. Because God is the one who told you to submit to your husband, not your husband. But because you don't want to do what you're being rebellious. That is a rebellious spirit. It is not, your husband is not the one that told you to do this. God, your father, told you to do this. So when you look at it like, well, I don't want nobody telling me what to do. I don't want to. Well, it's not what your husband is telling you to do. It's what God tells you to do. So this woman, this queen, the queen, she refused to appear to the king. So that offended the king. You got to understand that offended the king. This is the king. And I send for my woman and my woman tells me, I'm not coming. I'm not doing this. I don't care what you say. I'm not doing. You have to understand that the king probably was embarrassed. He was embarrassed at the fact in front of his friends, embarrassed in front of his family, embarrassed in front of everyone that the woman that he chose to be by his side was now saying that she ain't finished. She's disrespecting him in front of everyone. I'm gonna stop there again. Ladies, your man don't like being disrespected in front of people. Don't ever disrespect your husband in front of people. If you have something that you have to say to him, talk to him in private. Take the conversation to a different place. Do not go off in public. Do not just show who you in public, because you're embarrassing yourself more than you're embarrassing your husband, okay? Because you at all times have to keep yourself calm. I don't care what he's doing. You are the child of God. You need to keep your self-control. If he acting like a fool, don't you act a fool with him. You calm yourself down. Okay, honey. I know you're burning on the inside, but wait until you guys are in a different place, in a place away from each other, away from people, and have the conversation. Don't ever let people know when your home ain't happy. Don't ever let anyone know when your home is not happy, because what happens is you give the enemy a way in, because people looking. Trust me. People are looking at your relationship. You may think they not, but they watching you. They watching. They waiting for their chance. Some of them just waiting. People just waiting. Oh, if he wasn't with her, if she wasn't with him, they waiting. So you got to be, what the Bible tells us, we got to always be watchful. We got to be paying attention, because the devil is always looking for a way to be in. So the queen say, I'm not coming. And that upset the king. So back then, if you disrespected the king, that's death. That's death. You dead. Nowadays, some of you ladies, I'm gonna be honest, some of us, we couldn't be with no kings, because we would be dead. He would have cut our head off, because I'm not doing that. I'm not going to no banquet. I don't feel like getting dressed up. And it's respect. It's about support. It's not about that he's running you. Stop looking at it that way. That's that rebellious, independent, I'm a bad all by myself type mentality. But if you really want to be with a man, if you really want to share your life with a man, see, ladies, you're trying to be with men like you want a man to be with you. And he's a man. He's different. Men think completely different than you think. Okay? You want something differently than they want. So you got to learn how they act. A lot of you are oblivious to your husbands. You don't know how to actually make a man crave you, how to actually make a man want to be a man for you. But what you're doing is you're trying to force him to do it by being a mama. He don't want a mama. He want a wife. Some of them got away from their mamas. So you cannot, that's not your job. Your job is to be wifey. Okay? So the king was upset. He was like, man, why? Okay, well, you know what? I'm done with her. Find me somebody else. Okay? So they went out looking for virgins, because back then, kings, virgins, okay? In order to be presented to the king, you had to be a virgin. It's important, ladies, that you teach your daughters that if they want certain type of men, they need to present themselves and carry themselves so that way they can attract those kind of men. If they want a king, they need to present themselves as queens. If they want a joker, they can present themselves as a joker. If you have to teach your daughter and yourself how to present yourself to attract the type of mate that you want, that is important. That's why it's so important to know yourself and know what you want. Because you don't want to fake it until you make it. Then you get somebody and you with that person and they are nothing like what you want. They don't like who you are. Well, that's because you are not true to yourself. If you are true to yourself, then the right person that's going to love you for who you are will come your way. Because now they're attracted to you for who you are. They see everything about you. They see your boundaries. They see your wholeness. They see everything. So they get to decide, do I want to be with this woman or do I not? And if you're a wonderful person, you'll attract a man that's just as wonderful. But if you ugly on the inside, you're going to attract somebody who's just as ugly as you are. It's very, very important that you act the way that you want to attract. So the king wanted a virgin. So they sent out a decree for all the virgins to come, so that way they can decide who was going to go see the king. Okay? So Esther was one of the women that actually was decided to go to talk to the king. Let's talk about Esther for a little bit, okay? Esther was an orphan. Her mother and father died, okay? She was raised by her cousin, Mordecai, okay? Mordecai raised Esther. So when Esther was taken, it was time for Esther to go to be chosen for the king. Mordecai went with her. He stood with her. I'm gonna stop right there. When God has something going on in your life that he wants you to do, he will have somebody in your corner for you. You are never alone. There's always going to be that one person that is always with you throughout your life. Maybe it's your grandmother. Maybe it's your great aunt. Maybe it's your cousin. Maybe it's your mom, or it's somebody in your life that has been there for you, a best friend, whatever. God will never leave you by yourself. You will always have someone in your, especially if you are chosen by God. Think about Moses. Moses, although he was put into a basket to save his life, guess who took care of him? His mother. When he was in even though he was in the Pharaoh's court, his mom, his sister, still had people around him taking care of him to make sure that he was okay. You have somebody in your life making sure that you're okay, just like Esther. Let's keep it rolling. Okay, so Esther is So Esther gets brought to the person that takes care of the women, that the virgins, okay? So she's brought to this man, and automatically she wins favor with this man, okay? Why do you think she wins favor with this man? Let's go to the Bible, okay? Because it says that Esther, it said that Esther was chosen. She began much favor with the guy because of her beauty. Okay? Her beauty and her demeanor. That's very important. Esther was very pleasing because of her demeanor. Not because of her degrees. Not because of her accomplishments. Not because of how many cities that she visited. She was pleasing because of her demeanor. A lot of you are not pleasing because you don't have the right demeanor. Your attitude is messed up. You are the most beautiful woman you could ever see in the world. But when you open your mouth, it's just nasty. Your husband can't even be around you 2 seconds without you talking bad about him, without you putting him down. Yes, you're beautiful on the outside, but on the inside, you just nasty. And you're bitter, and you're angry, and you're unforgiving. And you've just destroyed all of the beauty that's on the inside. And now it's just leaking out on the outside. Because your spouse now can't see the beauty that you are because you're just so negative. Esther was chosen because of her beauty and because of her demeanor, her character, the way she presented herself. She presented herself as a queen. She presented herself as someone that could be put into a royal position and handle herself. Many of you ladies, you want a royal position. You want a king. You want your Prince Charming. You want your Boaz. But you walking around here acting like a, okay? You can't do that. If you want a king, remember, God sees what we can't see. You may look beautiful, but on the inside, you're ugly. And God sees your ugliness. So he's not going to give you a prince. He's not going to give you a king. He's not going to give you a good man and you ugly on the inside. He's not going to do that. You have to present yourself as a queen. He that finds a wife finds a good thing and favor in the Lord. He who finds a wife. So that means that you're already wife material when the man finds you. How many of you are single ladies? You are ready right now. If your man found you, you ready. I mean, you're ready to submit. You're ready to do what God has told you to do as a wife. Your pride is gone. You are ready to do it. If you haven't got to that level yet, you need to keep working on yourself. Because if you bring any of those things, and any of us that's married will tell you, if you bring any of those things into your marriage, you're going to have some problems. So and let's talk about, because I was talking about luxury, women and luxury, treating yourself. Many of you angry because you ain't spending no time by yourself. You don't treat yourself. You don't have no time to yourself. You're always about the husband, the kids, the community, the church, everybody else, the job, but you don't do nothing about yourself. So when Esther was chosen to go in front of the king, there is a certain ritual that they have to go through before they are presented to the king. Okay? So they have 6 months that they have to be doused in oil. And then another 6 months when they have to be doused in sweet odor before they go in front of the king. So they go through a whole pampering session. Number 1, they're virgin. Number 2, you got to be smelling good and looking good. That's something I'm going to tell you ladies right now. Go to Bath and Body Works and get you some body spray. Go to Victoria's Secret and get you some lingerie. Go out and do something. Go get you some bubble bath, okay? Do things that make you feel sexy. Do things that make you feel good, that you can present yourself to your husband. Okay? Sexy is an attitude. Sex is an action. Sexiness is an attitude. Okay? Do something that makes you feel sexy. Put on certain clothes. Fix yourself up. Before they could present themselves to the king, they had to be smelling good and looking good. It's a king. Ladies, you say you want a good man that got a job, that has a corporation, CEO, that's million. You say you want all this. Do you think that he want a funky looking woman? No. You got to present yourself in a way that if a man like that, when he's looking at you, you catch his eye. Single ladies, if you are married and you have a king inside of your husband, you need to learn how to pull that king out of him. How do you pull that king out of him? Just be his woman. Not his mama, not his homeboy, his woman. He got a best friend. He got a mama. He got a daddy. He got all those. He's got a God. He's got all those things. He wants you to be his woman. So present yourself as his woman. Get those long baggy clothes off and put some clothes on for your man, okay? In order for the women to be presented to the king, they had to be presented a certain way. You say you want your husband, you say you want to pull the king out of him, present yourself a certain way to him. And I'm not saying get on, I'm not saying that. Don't twist my words. I'm saying present yourself beautifully. Put on some beautiful, sexy, nice clothes and present yourself to that man. I promise you he ain't gonna just sit there. He gonna get up. Present yourself to him, okay? We as women, we're so big on our accomplishments, okay? What I can do, how I can do it. And that's great, ladies. I'm very happy. I'm proud. I'm a boss chick myself. I'm very excited about my businesses. I love it. But to my husband, I'm just his wife. I'm his wife. He don't care about, he's proud of me. He's happy for me. But when I come home, he's not looking for Coach attire. He looking for baby. He looking for my wife. Babe. Honey. That's who he's looking for. He's not looking for the CEO. He's not looking for the coach, the counselor. He's not looking for that person. He's looking for his wife. Some of us don't know how to take those hats off. We don't know how to take the hats of CEO. We don't know how to take the hats of manager. We don't know how to take the boss. We don't know how to take those hats off. So we go into our bedroom. We go into our home feeling like that we still run the place. No, you don't. You don't have to be that way. Not in your home, especially if you have a man there. Now, if you by yourself, I get it. But if you have a man there, you don't need to do that. Even if your man is not in his position, don't you step out of yours. Don't you ever step out of your position, although a man is not in his position. Step in do what you're supposed to do as a woman. Keep yourself womanly. Don't stop wearing your dresses and wear pants. Put your skirts on and rock it. Okay? Esther was not used to luxury. You think she was used to being like pampered and all those things? No, she wasn't. She wasn't used to that. She wasn't used to that, but see, God knew what he wanted to do. God knew that Esther was a queen. God knew that he had plans for Esther. God knew that he could put Esther in a position and the position wouldn't go to Esther's head. God knew he could put Esther in a powerful position because she was the queen and it would not go to her head. She would not think I'm better than my king. I can talk over my king. I can do all. She did not. He knew that he could trust her in that position. Some of you aren't in that position yet. You're not wives yet because God can't trust you in that position. He knows as soon as he puts you in the position, you're going to think you're going to get a big head. You're going to think, I'm not talking to no man. I'm not doing that. You're going to mess everything up. So God got to leave you by yourself a little while longer until you get ready for the position. It does not mean that he doesn't want to give you the position. It just means you're not ready yet. Because anybody that's married will tell you when you are a wife, there are certain ways you have to carry yourself. I'm not saying you got to become a nun and dress up. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when you get married, you don't need to be flaunting everything that belongs to your husband. It's okay to be sexy. I feel like I'm sexy right now just with my little shirt on. It's okay with that. But what I'm saying is you don't have to be showing the world what belongs to your man. Don't no man want everybody to look, because even these women, let me tell you about these women, these virgins with Esther, okay? These virgins like Esther. When they could not sleep with anyone else. They belonged to the king. And the king had multiple women. Don't think he just had one. Multiple women. Multiple. And some of these women, once the king slept with them, they didn't see him no more. But they could never be with anybody else. If they would slept with anybody else, they was dead. So you got to understand the seriousness back then about all this stuff that we just be doing all kind of crazy stuff now. But back then you couldn't do all this stuff. So, okay, Esther, let's keep going. So the story, Esther gets with the king, okay? They present her to the king and the king just falls in love with her. He just falls in love with her. She gets the favor from the king. I mean, she goes and presents her king. It says that the king was so just mesmerized by her. The way she presented herself to her husband, to the king. Now I understand this is a young woman and the king's probably like 40, 45 years old. So he's an older man. So she's going to have to present herself in a way that she can catch the eye of this older man, the eye of this man that's experienced man, this man that's already got a career, this man that's already got everything going for himself, this man I feel, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like a lot of women are really afraid to go after successful men, real successful men. And I don't know, I would say the reason why, because if a man is more successful than you are, your accomplishments aren't really going to impress him. You're going to have to come with your womanhood. You're going to have to come with your flirting. You're going to have to come with more than just throwing your degrees at him. You know, if you got a multimillionaire and you want to talk to him, just throwing your degrees at him is not going to impress him. You're going to have to make this man and help this man to understand, what do you bring into his life? What positivity do you bring into his life? He's already got a lot of chaos going on because he's a multimillionaire. He's a business owner. He's got all of this going on. So he wants to know, what are you going to bring into his life? Or are you going to bring more headaches? Are you going to be spending up all the money? Are you going to be fussing at him all the time? He don't want that. Now, this is somebody who's accomplished. This is somebody got everything going for him. Now, if you just want a man that you find in the club, they got what's some cars in Houston? We have these candy paint cars where they color their cars like these bright colors, but sitting at the club. Okay, well, you're probably going to get those types of guys if that's where you hang out at. But if you really want a good man and you want to present yourself in front, you got to be where they hang at. You got to put yourself in their environment. If those are type of men that you want. And you have to present yourself in a way that's attractive to those kind of men. You don't have to do what I'm telling you to do. You don't have to do it. You can be who you are and you can do whatever you want to do. But I'm talking to the ladies that are listening to me, and you single and you say, Ataya, I want a good man. I want a godly man. I want this. Okay, a godly man is not going to truly want you all popping it everywhere on social media. He wants you to pop it with him. If that's what you say you want. If you say you want a godly man, you got to present yourself in a way that is attractive to a godly man. Let's keep going. So Mordecai did not leave. Esther. He didn't leave her. Okay, he actually stayed outside the gate to make sure and kept in contact with Esther. And remember, I told you, when God has you in a position, he's not going to leave you by yourself. You're going to always have somebody with you. You may not realize it, but that person will always has your back. No matter what happened, he got your back. That was Mordecai for Esther. He was always around Esther. Always making sure, well, not around her, but he was in the court to make sure, in the area by the gates to make sure that she was good. Sending word to her, you good? You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. You okay? That's what's up. Do not, when you're in a relationship with someone, especially a toxic relationship, don't lose communication with your friends. Don't isolate yourself from your family, because you're going to need those people through the hard times. See, Esther was a Jew, and they did not know she was a Jew, but she was married to a Persian king. And they didn't know that Esther was a Jew. It was dangerous. So you got to understand that Mordecai knew this, and Mordecai told Esther not to say anything. I'm going to stop right there. Because when you're in a situation, God will send you word. God will tell you what you need to do and what you do not need to do in your situation. But if you are prideful, ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. This is my man. This is this. I'm not listening to you. Whatever. If you are like that, you're gonna miss what God is trying to tell you. You're gonna miss the warnings. You're gonna miss things because you're so prideful. The Bible's warning comes before destruction. Many of you were told about this, about your spouse. You were told some things before it happened. You probably seen some things on White Power. And now it's happening. You're like, oh my God. Well, you did not listen when the instructions were told. Mordecai told Esther, do not tell them who you are. Don't tell them where you're from. That does not mean that you need to disown your God. It just means you need to have some hush mouth grace right now. Ladies, when you're in a relationship with a man that may not believe in God like you believe in God, you don't have to stop trusting God or stop serving God or stop being around God or stop serving, like I say, serving God because your husband doesn't serve God. It just means that you don't need to keep throwing God in his face either. You just need to keep God in your heart. Keep his word in your heart. Stay true to what he tells you to do because he is watching you. I don't care what your husband do. You better do what God tells you to do. Just like Esther, she was in a Persian, with a Persian king, but she was a Jew. So she had to stay true to her God. So in the kingdom, there was another. So no, let me go back. Sorry, y'all, I missed a part. But Mordecai, one day, he overheard a plot to kill the king. So Mordecai gives word to Esther. Okay, that's why I say you gotta be ready to listen. You gotta be open. You can't have your mind closed, don't want to listen to nobody, because God will send some important word to you that you need to listen to. That's why your relationship with God got to be strong, especially if you're in a relationship with someone who is not of God, who is not worshiping God like you worship God, who does not serve God like you serve God. That does not mean that God cannot save their soul or help them. That just means that right now you got to be the one that holds that side of it up, which is okay because God is going to give you the strength that you need. So, two of the king's guards plotted to kill him. Mordecai heard it, told Esther. Esther told the king. That's very important because when it was documented in the book of Chronicles, which is where the king wrote down everything about his reign and everything. It was book in there. So it was written in the book of Chronicles that Mordecai saved the king from an assassination, pretty much. That's a big thing. So remember that. Those of you that don't know the story of Esther, remember that part. Okay? So another man just comes in the picture. His name is Haman. He becomes the second in command to the king, pretty much. Big time man. And he feels that everyone needs to bow down to him. He feels that, you know what, I'm second to the king. Everybody need to bow down to me. Okay, this is who I am. You're going to bow down to me. All right? Mordecai refused to bow down. Now, it was not Haman that seen Mordecai didn't want to bow down. It was Haman's little people around him. It's little people. And you got to be careful with the people that you have around you, because you may not see certain things. You may be, in your marriage and you like, that don't really matter to me. I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. And then somebody come in your ear and say, I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't go through that. I don't understand why you don't do something about that. That's those little negative voices that comes in your head to try to get you to doubt what God tells you to do. Those are little voices in your head that tries to get you to do something that will mess up your marriage. They get you to say something to mess up your marriage. Because when they told Haman that Mordecai refused to bow down to him, Haman not only wanted Mordecai dead, but he actually also wanted all the Jews dead. Now remember, the queen is a Jew. Esther is a Jew. But now this man who is second in command to her husband wants her dead, pretty much, because she is a Jew. And he's angry because Mordecai refused to bow down to him. My. That's the reason why I want to point that out, is because some of us think that, because it's one thing after another, like they just got through with the assassination. Now here come this person. But we think that trials come to come to hurt us. We think that trials come to destroy us. Like, oh my God, why do I go through these things? But we don't realize that sometimes God allows things to happen to put us in a position to elevate us. Okay? Let me say that again. Sometimes the trials that we go through, we think that it's to destroy us, but it's not. What it is to put us in a position so that God can elevate us. If Mordecai did not hear about the assassination, it would have never been written down in the book that he saved the king. Now, let's fast forward. If Mordecai would have not, because he didn't bow down to the king, now the king is not the king, but the second in command. Now this person wants to come after Mordecai. And Mordecai is the queen's cousin, which nobody knows. I tell you, why are you telling me this? Why are you telling us this? Why? How many situations are you in when you are being tested as a Christian? Because Mordecai was a Jew. And Mordecai didn't want to bow down to this man. He's like, I'm not bowing down to you. You're not my God. I serve God. That's pretty much what he was saying. So how many of you ladies right now, you're in marriages, you're in relationships, you're struggling in these relationships, you're dealing with this man, and he's telling you, I don't know why you serving God. He teases you. He gets on your back. He bothers you. All these crazy things because you serve God. Your spouse don't want to pray with you. Just all this stuff. You don't realize that God put you there for a reason. Yes, it sucks. Okay? Yes, the man, it attacks you. Yes, things happen. I understand all of that. But you have been placed there for a reason. Let me keep going. So, this guy, Haman, he very slick. Very slick. He goes to the king, knowing how the king is. And he tells the king that there's a group of people that he needs to be worried about, pretty much. He didn't tell him that it was Jews. He just said, there's a group of people that you need to be worrying about. And how about you just let me handle it and I'll take care of it. So the king, being the king, not really worried about it. He said, whatever you want to do to those people, just do it. He just gave the enemy the power to destroy people. His wife's people that he doesn't even know. But that's how the devil is. See, you think the devil after you. You think the enemy after your husband. But it ain't that. He's after your children. He's after the generation. He's after the children's children. The whole generation he wants to destroy. And if you don't get yourself in position and do what God has called you to do, then you're going to mess up what God is trying to do. God wants to save your husband. God wants to save the generation, your son, your daughter, your granddaughter. He wants to do all of that. He's tired of the enemy with his hand on the generation. But with you not doing what you're supposed to be doing, with you not being in position, you are messing up what God is trying to do. And God cannot save the generation. Get out of God's way. So you have to understand that when you are in a position, just like Esther, Esther was with the king. She was a queen now. She could not act a certain way. She couldn't just be out there just acting crazy. She was a queen now. She could not just go to her husband and go off on him and say whatever she wanted to say to him. That she would die. So she had to do something a little different. And I'm going to keep going. So Mordecai hears about the decree that this man wants to attack and kill the Jews. So he sends word to Esther. And he tells Esther that you got to do something about this. This man is trying to kill us and the Jews. He's trying to do some major damage. You're the queen. It's time for you to talk. Remember that in the beginning, Mordecai told her not to say anything. Ladies, right now, you don't need to fight. You don't need to keep arguing. You don't need to keep getting flustered and upset and crying and all of that. You don't need to do that right now. You just need to be quiet. You need to learn how to just be quiet and let things play out. Let things happen. You arguing, fussing, fighting, and doing all of that, all you're doing is you're causing more problems. You're making it even worse. You're pushing him away. God can't even get to him because of your craziness. The man don't even want to come home. Learn how to shh. So that way that you can be in the position that God has you in, and you can actually do what God wants you to do in that position. You are a woman. Okay? When God presented a woman to Adam, Adam said, bone of my bone. He was so amazed. This king was so amazed by Esther. So don't you think your husband is amazed by you? He married you. But your attitude, I heard a saying that says your talent will get you in the door, but your attitude will keep you there. A lot of you, your beauty, your talent, whatever it was, got you the ring, but your attitude gonna make you lose it if you don't stop. There is a certain way you need to present yourself as a wife. And if you don't do that, you're gonna lose your position. And I'm not threatening nobody, I'm warning you. Because you wanted the position, just like a job. If you take a position and you don't do your job, you will lose your position. So understand that Esther, Mordecai sends word to Esther and tells Esther, it's time for you to do something. You the queen. You got to speak up for us. Esther didn't want to do that. Esther sent word back to him and said, you done lost your mind. He gonna kill me. I can't just go up to him. I can't just present myself to the king. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. But Mordecai did not back down. He didn't back down on Esther. He sent word back to her. And he told her. He said, Esther, sweetheart, you have to understand that you were brought into royalty for times like this. Well, how you know that God did not make you a queen so that you can do this? How do you not know that God didn't put you in this position so that you can save the people? Ladies, how you don't know that God didn't put you with this man so that you could save the generations coming after you guys? You may have to cry a little bit. Do you really think that Esther wanted to be there with that man? She didn't know him. But God put her in a position because he knew what he had for her to do. But I know she was afraid. I know that was scary. I know that some of the things that God is telling you to do is scary. Lord, you want me to let him go? You telling me that we may get divorced? You telling me that I got to keep my mouth shut? You telling me that I got to budget my money? You telling me I got to do all of these things? Lord, oh my God, I don't know if I could do this. Esther was afraid. Ladies, I need y'all to understand. You're not the first woman that God asked to do something in her life. Some of you, you may be in some situations with some men that are not nice. And some people telling you you need to leave. People saying you need to go and you're afraid. Esther, they told Esther she had to go to the king. This king killed his last wife that disobeyed him. Get from me, woman. So she was not only was she afraid because she was afraid for her life. But Mordecai reminded her, you are a Jew. You ladies are a child of God. You are God's daughter. You have been put in that position for a reason. You can't hide. You can't hide and do what everybody else is doing because you have been chosen. So you gotta take up your position, your calling, and do what God has told you to do. Esther was scared. I don't blame her. I would have been scared too. Lord Jesus, man, gonna kill me. What am I gonna do? So ladies, and a lot of you that's watching me, this was what you really wanted me to talk about. The art of a woman. Because we were talking about it in our group. And I want to talk to you about how Esther used the art of a woman to save her people. Because now this is where I'm going. I'm going to tell you about how she saved the people. Okay? So she finally told Mordecai. She said, you know what, Mordecai? We're going to go ahead and this is what we're going to do. I want you to tell the Jews that we're going to fast for 3 days. My people, even here in the castle, we're going to fast too. She's a Jew. She did what a lot of you ladies need to start doing. When she was presented with a difficult obstacle, when she was presented with something that made her afraid, when she was presented with something that she had to take a huge leap of faith that scared her, that made her tremble, she didn't just she went to God. She fasted. She said, okay, we got to fast and we got to pray. Ladies, when everything is going crazy in your life, when you got all hell breaking loose in your life, don't cry, don't run, don't get scared. Fast and pray. Get on your knees and talk to God because he will give you the instructions that you need to move accordingly. Esther could not just go to the king any kind of way and just go off on him. I need you to save my people. She would have been dead. She had to go to God and say, Lord, how can I handle this situation? I know she was afraid. Lord, help me. And God will help you. There is only one way that your marriage will be fixed. There's only one way that your marriage will be successful. You're going to have to submit to the will of God. Many of you are struggling in your marriage. You crying out to God, Lord, save me. Lord, save my marriage. What is going on? And all you got to do is submit to the will of God. You're too prideful. You don't want to do what God's telling you. I'm not going to submit to no man. I'm an independent woman. Okay. Well, is it working? How is that working for you? How is it working for you? Many of you that's doing it on your own, how is it working for you? Because if you would just stop doing it yourself and do it God's way, you'll be okay. Let's talk about the art of a woman. Let's talk about Esther. So Esther, we're in Esther chapter 5, Esther chapter 5. Y'all give me about 20 minutes. Just give me 20 minutes and I'll be done. art of a woman. So Esther, okay, the Bible says in Esther chapter 5, 1 through 5, it says on the third day, because remember they fasted for 3 days. On the third day, Esther put on her royal attire and stood in the inner court of the palace across from the king's quarters. The king was sitting on his royal throne in the royal courtroom facing the entrance. As soon as the king saw Queen Esther standing in the courtroom, she found favor in his sight. The king extended the golden scepter in his hand towards Esther, and she approached and touched the tip of the scepter. "What is it, Queen Esther?" the king said. "What is your request? Even up to half of my kingdom, I will give it to you." Esther said, "If it pleases the king, may the king and Haman come today to a banquet I have prepared for the king." "Hurry," commanded the king, "and bring Haman, so we may do as Esther requested." Let me break that down to you, because we're talking about the art of a woman, okay? So when Esther needed to approach her king, she put on, the Bible says that Esther put on her royal attire, okay? Because she knew she had to present herself to her king. So she put on her royal attire. Esther put on her best for her to approach her king. She didn't have her hair all over the place. She didn't have all her baggy clothes. She didn't have no attitude. She came looking the best that she possibly could. Why? Because she wanted his attention. She wanted to catch his eye. Men are visual creatures, lady. You want to catch your man's eye? Give him something to look at. He can't see you in all them baggy clothes. He can't see you with that long, all that. He can't see you. Put on something that lets him see you, that sees the beauty in you. All Esther did was put on some beautiful clothes and stood. That's all she did. It tells you in the Bible. It said Esther put on royal attire and stood in the inner courts of the palace across from the king's quarters. The king was sitting there facing the entrance. As soon as he saw Esther, she found favor in his sight. Not her degree, not her accomplishment, her beauty, her body, the way she presented herself to her man. Put on some sexy clothes when you're presenting yourself to your husband and he's at home and he's stressed out and he had a hard day. Go in that room smelling good. Okay? Like, don't put a robe on when you're around the kids. But when you're in the room with your husband, have your nice lingerie on. You smelling good, looking good. You don't got to wear no makeup. He don't need you with no makeup on. All you got to do is just look good. Be pleasing to his eye. That's very important. And you don't have to be Kim Kardashian, Halle Berry. Your man married you for you. He loved you just the way you are. You got to love you. So put on your clothes and present yourself to your husband. The next thing Esther did. When Esther approached the king and he told her to come, it says that she approached him and she touched the royal scepter. So if you're thinking about a scepter, I ain't got nothing around here, but you're thinking about a scepter. Y'all don't laugh at my Halloween prop. But you're thinking about a scepter and the king has got his scepter. So you think Esther just went up there and was like, You think Esther was doing all that? Because some of you ladies, that's your attitude. You think when she walked up to the king with his scepter, I ain't touching that. I ain't doing that. No. Let me tell you what Esther probably did. Esther probably grabbed the scepter. She probably touched her man's hand. She probably touched the scepter in a way that just teased him. Oh, my king. She did things that teased that man, that made that man just be like, oh my God, what do you want? Whatever you want. You can have a whole kingdom if you want. And all she did was just flirt with him. All she did was make him feel good. She looked good and she made him look good. That's all she did. She approached her king and she was pleasing to his eyes. Ladies, you got to be pleasing to your husband's eyes. Don't be at home all day, every day, talking about type, he gonna have to love me for the way that I am. You wasn't like that when you married him. You had your face, you dressed yourself up, you look good. You probably didn't wear makeup every day, but you did do some things that made that man want to fall in love with you. And it wasn't just all about your brain, your head. He appreciated your body too. So show him what he appreciated. How do you present yourself to your husband? When you are talking to him, do you come to him with a soft tone? Or are you barking orders at the man? You're a woman. You're not a man. You lose your essence because you feel like you got to be hard all the time. That is not our job to be hard. We were taught to be that way. We were taught to always got to be hard. I probably all the way back from my great-great-great-grandma days. We got to be strong. We got to be, especially African-American women. We are taught to be some strong-minded women, which is okay. But you lose your essence of being just a woman. The beauty of being just being. Not doing, but being, smelling good, looking good. My husband loved when my hair smells like fruits and vegetables. He told me, you smell like a whole fruit basket. I love it. And he be all up under here. He said, I love your little natural and your sprays and everything. I just love that. Because it's the essence of a woman. They be around men all the time. Sweaty men, working, all that stuff. They want to be around a woman, smelling good. Woo! Touching on him. See, men, they're rough. When he's around his homeboys, they rough. They fart. They punch each other. They talk about each other. Y'all know how the guys be. But when he around you, he don't want that. He wants the essence of his woman. He wants you to touch him a certain way. He wants you to love on him, feel on him, rub on him. Put your hands on your man. Smile at him. Your smile is the biggest asset. Just smile at him. Hi, baby. Let that man just feel good. Put your hair down. Swivel that hair. Girl, I'll do it in a minute to my husband. I'll get that hair and just swivel it and just be like, hey, babes, and just do all that. I'll do all kinds of stuff. Put that hair down. You don't have to always be hard. You can be a woman. That's especially when you with a man. And it starts with you. Let me stop for just a couple of minutes. I don't have a lot left, but it starts with you. Okay, ladies? Ataya, how can I tap into my womanhood? I'm going to write a book about that. Something God put in my heart, but I'm going to tell you a little bit. It starts with you. When you're at home by yourself, turn some music on and just be at home. Put on your lingerie. Be in your bed. Lingerie is not just for your husband. It's for you. A lot of you struggle with wearing lingerie with your husband because you never worn it by yourself. Single ladies, get used to wearing lingerie. Put your lingerie on. You can walk around your house in your lingerie. Don't nobody got to see you. You got to be happy. Put your lingerie on. Feel good about yourself. So that way when you get a man, you're bringing him the essence of you. You're bringing him because a lot of men, they don't know about candles. They don't know about, all that stuff. They wasn't raised around that stuff. They was raised hard. But then they get with you and you showing them candles, bubble baths, massages. I book my husband a massage in a minute. He ain't gonna book him one, but I will. Luxury. You gotta know how to tap into those things. Get yourself a massage. Get yourself a maid. Get yourself a cook. Whatever you have to do to make your life a little bit easier and you feel good about yourself, go do it. Because if you do that, then when you're with your husband, it won't be so foreign for you. A bubble bath won't be so foreign because when you were single, you took your bubble bath every day. Wearing makeup won't be so unusual for you because you practice putting your makeup on even before you had a man. Y'all, some of you guys waiting to do these things until you get a man. Don't wait for nobody. Luxury is for you. Sexiness is for you. You got to feel sexy within yourself before your husband can make you feel sexy. You got to know what you offer. And you don't just offer what's between your legs. You offer more than that. So you got to know how to tap into that. And you got to tap into you. What do you like? Let me be real with y'all. Let me be really real with you. How many of you, when you're at home and you're just by yourself, do you ever just touch yourself? I'm not talking about down there. Don't go there. But I'm talking about, like, just rub your arms on yourself, and just, rub your legs. And because let me tell you why I'm telling you this. Because when you're around your husband and you're teasing him and you got your lingerie on and you're teasing him, you're standing in front of him and you're dancing for him and you're doing all these things that you want, you feel awkward. Well, the reason why you feel awkward is because you're not practicing. You don't practice. The best practice is standing in front of your mirror and just dancing in your mirror. So you can figure out get you a chair, lady. I'm teaching y'all something. Give y'all some wisdom. Get you a chair. Sit in that chair in front of the mirror and just learn how to put your Beyonce on. Just teach yourself how to do things by yourself. So when your husband comes, you done already practiced. So when he's sitting there, you like, baby, I got a show for you. And you're able to just, do all of that because you feel comfortable with yourself. We as little girls, we were always taught that like our bodies was like taboo. Like don't touch, don't do that. I'm not saying doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing. What I'm saying is you need to get familiar with what you like. So that way you can tell your husband. That way you guys can communicate with each other. Babe, I like it when you hold me. Babe, I love it when you grab me this way, when you talk to me this way. You got to know how to be confident in yourself so that way you can tell your husband. These men ain't men. They don't know some things. You got to tell them. You absolutely right. You'll be more confident. You got to practice. Y'all scary. Get in that mirror. Put you some music on and dance. So when he come home, have the music still playing. And I'm going to give you a little hint. Keep the music playing so when he walk in the door, you pretend like you think that he ain't coming through the door and you just still dancing with your lingerie on. He going to walk in and just want to put his hands all over you. I'm just trying to tell y'all something. All right, let's go back to Esther. So Esther goes to the king and she presents herself to the king, very pleasing to the king. So the king tells her, what is it that you want? Whatever you want. She was so beautiful and she was just such a wonderful woman that the king was willing to give her anything. This is a king that did not believe in God. Ladies, let me tell you something, speaking from a woman that has a husband that did not grow up serving God. When you have a man like that, throwing scriptures at him will not work. Not yet. Because he can't hear you. He don't know what that means. He don't know what that is. You just throwing scriptures. Okay. So you got to learn how to tap into him a different way. And that's what Esther learned. Esther couldn't go in there talking about God to that king. She had to use what she had to get his attention. Ladies, if the women of the world can use their sexuality to draw men, to drive men away from their wives, you need to learn how to use your sexuality to draw your man to you. You were given that for a reason. Sex is a gift for married couples, but married couples are losing in the game. Why are they losing in the game? Because y'all want to be boring. Y'all don't want to do what you want to do. You want to, I'm not doing that. No, we're not doing that. That's not what God intended for marriage. God made sex. Let me say, God made sex for married couples. And if you know anything about the God that I serve, he don't make nothing boring. He don't make nothing boring. So sex should not be boring. It should be fun if you're married. If you're married, it should be fun, enjoyable. Whatever y'all want to do that's pleasing to God, that does not defy your bedroom, you can do it. Don't let nobody tell you can't. Yes, you can. You got to learn how to please your man, because the worldly women, they out there ready. They ready. And some of them, it's a thrill for them. It's a thrill to be able to go after married men to see if they can get your man from you. It's a thrill. So you got to know how to step your game up and always be aware, because the devil is seeking who he may devour. Don't think it can't happen to you. Make sure it don't happen to you. Get yourself, go on Rihanna's website and get you some of that lingerie. And stop being scary. If you want God to help you in that area of your life, pray for him. God, I'm gonna be honest. I prayed and told God, Lord, I need you to spice up my sex life. You know, it ain't all. My husband. It's the bomb, but I need you to be out of this world. God will always take something to a next level, and He does help. So you gotta know how to pray. Let's keep going. So Esther approaches her king, talks to him. He wants to give her everything. She said, I want you to invite this man Haman to the banquet. So the king's like, okay, baby, whatever you want. He invites him to the banquet. Okay? They go to the first banquet. The Haman think everything good. I'm eating with the king. Esther done invited me to the castle. I got everything together. Understand, God will allow the enemy to think he won. God will allow your husband to think that he won. God will allow people to think that they got over on you. He will. That way, when he shocks them, it's an even bigger surprise, because they thought they got away with it. Some of you, you think your husband is getting away with some of the things that he's doing. He's not getting away with anything. He's falling right into the trap. Because those of you who know the story of Esther, Esther knew already what she wanted to do, but she was playing the game. She was using the art of her womanhood. She didn't approach her husband with a crazy attitude. This is what needed to happen. She didn't do all of that. She kept telling her king. Let me tell you something. This is what I love. Queen Esther said, Esther 7:3 says, Queen Esther replied to her husband, if I have found favor in your sight, O king, and if it is pleasing to the king, grant me my life as my petition. Look how she's talking to him. I'm not telling y'all got to be talking to your husband saying, if it grants you this or if it does. I'm not telling you that. But I'm telling you, learn how to talk to your man as a king. Learn how to talk to the king in him and stop talking to the kid. Stop trying to be his mama. He already had somebody that was called to be his mama. You are called to be his wife. Learn how to be a wife, a woman, not a mama. Okay? He don't need you as his mom. Whatever his mother didn't do, God can fix it. Your job is to be a wife, a helpmate. You still should be doing what you're supposed to be doing. You should be building your businesses. You should be in your ministry. You should be doing everything. You're a partner for your husband, not his mama. So stop doing that. So she approached her king. And she told him, because there were two banquets. The first banquet Haman went to, he thought it was good. He thought it was good. He went home, told his wife, I had lunch with the king, I'm good, and I'm going to kill that Mordecai dude because I ain't got time for him. I'm going to kill him, I'm going to hang him, I'm done. Thinking he got it. Ladies, pay attention. You think your husband, God ain't going to get your husband for the things that he's done? You think God is not going to get people for the things they done to you? He going to get them. Just not on your time, on his time. So there's a second banquet. And Esther is asked again by the king. This man keeps asking this woman, what do you want? Ladies, what do you think she's doing that's making this man want to give her everything? Being a woman, being meek, being humble, being graceful, being classy, being sexy, being who she was. That's all she was doing. And she told the king, she said, she begged for her life. And she begged for the life of her people. She told the king that her life was in danger. King, because he loved her. Who the world did that to you? Haman. There go Haman sitting right there. There he go sitting right there. Him. Look at Esther. She up there with her king, probably touching on him, probably rubbing on him. Oh, my king. Oh, my king. And he just all in this just love, dope love, drunkenness. And she is able to slip in her request. Ladies, don't try to ask your husband for nothing when he's irritated and upset. Y'all done had an attitude. He done had a bad day. Don't do that. Let him relax. Let him calm down. Let him have the ability to hear you and then approach him with your request. Set the tone, set the mood in the house. Make it an approachable mood. So that way he will want to talk to you. If you don't do that, he ain't going to hear you. If Esther did not present herself to her husband a certain way, the Jews would have been assassinated. But because she presented herself to her king as a queen, as a woman, not another dominant male, but as a woman, this man was willing to give her anything, even kill somebody. Haman was killed because of the fact of what he did. And then not only that, he wanted to kill Mordecai. And let me tell you about Mordecai. Because the king, right before the banquet, the last banquet, the king could not sleep. So remember that book of Chronicles that I told you guys about in the beginning? When he couldn't sleep, he told a servant to bring the Chronicles and read it to him. And he heard about Mordecai. He read about what Mordecai did for him. And he wanted to reward Mordecai. So he went to Haman and asked Haman, what do you think I should do for the man who saved my life? And Haman, being the big head that he was, well, you need to present him with the best of the best and put him second in command and all these great things. So he did that, but not for Haman, for Mordecai. So Mordecai, come on, y'all. Mordecai, the man that protected Esther, was now second to the king. Because of what he did for God. So I'm here to tell you ladies that it does not matter what other people are doing. If you want your marriage to work, if you want your business to work, if you want your life to work, you're going to have to submit to the will of God. I am a witness. I will tell you how in the world your marriage survived the things that it survived. I had to lay down my pride and submit myself to my husband. Submit myself to my God. And then I started to see God's hand in my marriage. As long as I was doing everything by myself, all we did was kept digging ourselves a deeper hole. And it's not an easy process because we're rebellious. We're prideful. But if you really want God to do some amazing things in your life, you have to relinquish your control. And ladies, just be ladies. Self-care this year, I want every woman that is watching me, or that's watching me later, you need to put self-care on your calendar. Get a calendar, okay? Write down days. You guys need to learn how to put yourselves on schedules. Y'all just going, just in and out all everywhere. No. every month, grab yourself a calendar. Okay? Plan out your self-care days. So that way you can go to your job and you can actually request these days off. Okay? Write down the days, your self-care days. Write down the days, your girlfriend days. If you're going to have days where you're going to go out with your friends, y'all going to go have lunch, you're going to have dinner, write that down. If you have sister days with your sister, write those things down. If you have a day with your mama, write that down on the schedule. Date nights. Plan your date nights. So that way you can tell your husband, some of you are so busy, and I get it. I'm a busy woman myself. So it's important to me to plan date nights with my husband. Babe, this week I'm going to be busy. But this weekend, it's me and you like Donkey Kong, okay? And he's okay with that because he's gonna look forward to it. So you better come. I gotta come with it. But you can plan these things. If your schedule is crazy, plan sex, plan dates, plan things that you need to plan, so that way you don't allow the devil to come in and mess up your relationship. Being a woman is your power. It's your gift. When Adam saw Eve, he was amazed. David killed someone because of Bathsheba's beauty. Samson allowed Delilah he told Delilah his secret because of her beauty. Ladies, your husband thinks you're beautiful. He wouldn't have married you. You have to think you're beautiful. There is a history in the Bible of men who have done some crazy things because they are crazy about women. This is a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. So you got to understand you got something that they want. You got it. Learn to tease your man with it. Don't be always so accessible. Tease him. Send him, when he at work, send him little text messages. Just do stuff that shows your husband that he's important. We know I got children. I have businesses. I have all that y'all probably have. But my husband does not miss a beat. My husband knows that I'm going to take care of him. Because I make sure that I plan my life around making sure that my husband gets his time. It's important. I show him that he is important to me. I show him that he is number one under God. And if you show a man that he is important to you, like the king did, he'll give you half of everything that he has. Because you show him that you need him. You show him that he's important. You show him that just by the way you talk to him, the way you touch him, the way you rub on him, the way that you do these things, that's how you're going to get your man. I need everybody this year to buy some lingerie. Get some lingerie. Get them baggy pajamas off. Get you a robe. You know what a robe is. Get a robe. And when you get out of the room, put your robe on. Zip it up. When you get in the room, take it off. Don't make no excuses this year. When you at home, don't be putting on them pajamas. Put on some lingerie. Run your bubble bath. Do all that you can so that way you present yourself good to your king. Remember I said Esther and the women, before they even were brought to the king, they had to go through a whole pampering that made them feel good. So ladies, before you present yourself to a man, pamper yourself. Get your bath. Put on your perfume. Put on your lotion. And while you rubbing your lotion on yourself, think about your man. Think about him. I can't wait till he come home. Text him. That's the art of a woman. And when you go out, put on something sexy. Put on something nice for him. Make sure that when he go out with you, you are a showstopper for him. It's okay to put a little something on when you with your man. When you with your girlfriend, I don't need to see all that. But when you with your man, show him, flirt with him. That's what you did to get him. And that's what he's missing. That is what he is missing. Exactly. Do something out of the ordinary. I be giving y'all hints. I told one of you, told you guys, plan a weekend. Don't tell him. You ain't got to worry about him finding out because most hotels don't charge you until you guys leave. So they just put the credit card down. They ain't going to see it. And what you do is you go ahead, you plan everything. And when he go to work that morning, let him be at work, probably around noontime. Text him. Hey, babe, meet me at this address, at this time, and this room number. Just text him. There you go, Miss India. Wear it. And when and tell him to text you when he's on his way. And when he on his way, you get that room. I mean, you be on point. If you don't like to decorate, if you don't know how to decorate, there are plenty of planners that will decorate the whole room for you. The whole room. Get you with the little strawberries, everything. If you don't have time to do it, luxury. Have somebody do it for you. And you stay there, and when that man texts you and say he on his way, you be ready. If you have kids, the important thing is you get a babysitter for the night. You still in the city. You're not going nowhere. You still in the city. So if your child needs you, y'all can hear it. You can leave. You can go real quick to see what he needs. But he should be okay. Put him in the bed. Go to bed. Night. Have somebody come over to your house and watch your baby. You'll be there in the morning. Y'all got to come on. We got to use our imagination here. And that way you go to the hotel, you spend a little day with your husband. There's breakfast at most of these hotels. They serve breakfast. All you got to do is keep your robe on, get room service. Y'all enjoy. He ain't got to know nothing. Just text him and say, meet me. See, understand what's going to happen. That's going to spark his curiosity. Ooh, what she got going on? What's she doing? Oh, what's she doing? He going to be at work talking about, man, my wife got, I don't know what she got, but she say, meet me at the hotel room. Like, it pumps him up. It makes him feel good. And then when you get to the house, when he gets to the hotel, you get your romance on. So everybody win. Everybody win. Yes. Yes, my friend. Yes. I'm trying to help y'all. Because I'm tired of married women losing in the game of romance. I'm tired of the devil out there using the same thing that we got to destroy marriages when we need to use the thing that we got to make marriages stronger. You have to be creative. Your husband, when you got with him, you didn't just give it all up and you was, oh no, I'm not going to call him today. I'm going to call him tomorrow. You just made him chase after you. That's the craving, ladies. That's the craving. The fact that you're not so accessible. You're not so gullible. You're not like that. He like it. When you no, honey, no, baby, later. I got you later. That's how you do it. You have what you need to get him, to make him fall back in love with you. You just got to tap back into it. Put your beautiful clothes on, do your makeup, get your hair done, and go get the man. Love you guys. This is the story of Esther. I'm talking about Deborah next week. But tonight I wanted to talk about Esther. Because Esther saved her people. Not because of her attitude, because of her attitude, but not because of her degrees, not because of her titles. See, God don't care about title. God don't care nothing about no title. God gives you the title. God was the one that put Esther in the position to be able to save her people, not Esther. But because of Esther's attitude, because of Esther's grace, because of Esther's ability to adjust in situations that she probably didn't want to be in, God put her in a position where this woman was a queen. A Jewish queen. That when her people were needing her, she was able to step in. Ladies, your children need you. They need you to do what you need to do so you can show them what a successful marriage looks like. So you can show them what a happy marriage looks like. So you can show them what a happy man looks like, what a happy wife looks like. So get out of the regular and be creative. These women in the world are doing all kinds of stuff. You need to do some stuff too. That's in the will of God. Let me say that. You okay? He gonna be all right. He gonna love it. He gonna love it. Take some pictures of your lingerie and send it to him and say, baby, I'm gonna wear this tonight. Y'all gotta know how to do it. But tonight, like I said, we talked about Esther, Art of a Woman. I hope that you guys were really, 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 really blessed. I hope that I did it a little different tonight because I wanted to go over the story of Esther. You know, this woman that was a Jew and she married a Persian king, and the Persian king loved her so much. He adored her so much that he was willing to give her anything. And because of the position that she was put in, when her family, when her people came under fire, she was able to save them. She was able to help them. Because she was in position. God puts you in position for a reason, ladies. You are a wife for a reason. You don't have to be the king. You are the queen. Use your essence. Use your sexuality. Use who you are in order to get to your king. You got him. He watching a game and you want some attention. I promise you, if you stand in front of that TV with nothing on, he gonna get off that game. I'm just trying to tell y'all something. Learn how to talk. My husband tells me all the time, now you speaking my language. Because when I'm talking to him, he be like, I can't, whatever. But when I start talking to him like he want me to talk to him, he'll tell me in a minute, now you speaking my language. And when I hear him say that, I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm teaching y'all. There's so much more that I'm going to teach you guys this year about self-care, about your sexuality. Because a lot in church, we don't talk about this. We don't talk about sex in church. And sex is for married people. But we don't talk about those things. We don't talk about being a woman. We don't talk about teaching our daughters about these things. We don't talk about these things. And that's why a lot of us are struggling in these areas. But that's what wife power is all about. Teaching you how to love God, love yourself, and how to love your mate the right way. You will learn how to love God the right way. If you're looking for counseling, I teach my wives about all things, about how to be feeling more better about themselves, their confidence, how to be able to stand up for themselves, how to deal with difficult situations in their marriages. I've helped women with all kinds of things all over the world. What you are struggling with, you just have to go after it. You have to go after it. Yes, Miss India, post your brunch. Because it's all about us coming together. I seen one of the ladies in the group, she posted about she would go online and do makeup with you. No excuses in 2021, ladies. You want to learn how to do your makeup? Find you a makeup artist that will do a Zoom call and teach you. You want to learn how to self-care and you want to learn how to do some things? There's some wonderful women in the group. There's some wonderful women online that have businesses that will help you. We are coming together and we are going to have some power in this 2021. We're going to win in marriages, but you guys have to have an open ear. And you got to convict your flesh. Because 99% of the time when someone says something and it causes you to feel offensive, it's probably because it's something that you need to work on. I don't know everything, but I've been through a lot. And I thank God for the wisdom that he has given me. So I encourage you all, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, you guys. I will be editing this video and putting it on YouTube so that way you can see this videos. And there's so many other videos on YouTube. One of my goals is to reach 1,000 subscribers this year. I have goals. I am trying to reach them. So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please make sure you subscribe to Wife Power TV. The link has been posted because I want you guys to make sure that we win. And it's not about just me. It's about all of you. So ladies, even if you're watching me and you have businesses where you can help people with self-care, if you're a coach, anything like that, y'all contact me. So that way we can set up a thread and we can do things to help the ladies out. Wife Power is all about loving God, yourself, and your mate. And I want to make sure we all win. Okay? Love you guys. Thank y'all so much for all the support. We hit 50,000 likes. 50,000 likes. I'm grateful. To me, that's 50,000 souls attached to Wife Power. 50,000 souls attached to Wife Power. So I'm grateful to God that all of you that are here and that you're learning. I'm grateful. So we're going to end it with our prayer. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday for Power Talk Tuesday. Heavenly Father, I come right now and just thank you for this opportunity, God. Lord, I thank you for the lessons that we learned from Esther. Lord, I ask that there is any woman that is struggling with just being a woman. You made us differently for a reason, God. But I ask that you go into the homes of these women and you help them to be able to love themselves as you love them. Who cares if they don't have a man, Lord? Who cares if nobody cares, if they ain't got nobody around them? That is not what's important, God. What is important is that you sent your son Jesus to die on the cross because you loved us. And as long as we realize that there's no greater love than a man that will lay down his life for his friend, then we will realize that we're going to be okay. God, touch the women that feel insecure, God. I ask right now that you touch any lady that feels like she's not enough. Touch the lady that feels like she's not beautiful. Touch a lady that feels like that she is inadequate. God, I ask right now that you let her know that we're all different. We all have our insecurities. Everyone, including myself. But that's what makes us different, God. What makes us different is not that we all think alike and that we look alike. What makes us different is that you made us individual because there are different journeys that you have us on. God, I thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to speak to your people. And I hope that they learn the lessons from Esther and realize that you don't have to be strong all the time. We have a God. You don't always have to have it all together, and it's not going to always be the way you want it to be. But if we stay true to ourselves, if we stay true to our God, it will always work out for those who love you. So Lord, I thank you. We praise you, and I ask all these things in your son Jesus' name. Amen and amen. See you guys on Tuesday. Love you. I will, like I said, this video will be on YouTube probably tomorrow because I'm tired. But I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support. If you have any questions, please make sure that you inbox me. I will answer whatever questions that you guys have for me. Love you with the love of Christ. Have a blessed rest of your week and see you next week. Bye-bye.